My name is Magnus. Okay. I want us to do something. It's very important we do this thing. For once, if you are a Yoruba man, stop being a Yoruba man. I mean, for just the next 1 hour, let's attempt to do this thing so that we can at least get to a point where we can have a mutual understanding. So, if you are a Yoruba man, just for 1 hour, assume you are not a Yoruba man. Same thing for an Igbo man. Same thing for the Fulani man, the Hausa man, any tribe you are. Just stop being that tribe for the next 1 hour. If you are a Christian, stop being a Christian for just 1 hour. Just 1 hour. I'm not saying you are not going to be a Christian again. Just stop being a Christian for 1 hour. If you are a Muslim, let's attempt you are not a Muslim, at least for the next 1 hour. North, south, you're just a neutral being. Somebody somewhere in the middle. Now, the reason why I'm asking us to do this exercise is for us to attempt to know what the other person is thinking and to see if we will think the same thing if we are in that person's shoes. Now, the reason why I'm saying we should do that is to attempt to assess Nigeria and ask yourself, truly, if you are not a Yoruba man, you are not a Christian, you are not a Muslim, you are not anything that will cause bias. You are not anything that will hold you back to take a side. You are not anything that will say, okay, because I am weighed down by this proclivity, I am inhibited to see the truth. So for once, let's attempt to see what is right. So I'm going to ask this question. Are you actually proud of Nigeria the way it is? Are you actually, really, truthfully proud of Nigeria the way it is? Now, you are beginning to understand why I said you should not be Christian. You should not be Yoruba. You should not be Fulani. You should not be anything that will force any form of proclivity in you. Now, because sometimes I ask myself, I said, with the way Nigeria is, could it be that I am weighed down by my proclivity as a Yoruba, as an Yoruba man, as a lover of Peter Obi, as a Southerner, as a Christian? Could it be that these things are what is weighing me down to the point that I can't see it the way a Yoruba man is seeing it, or the way a Fulani man is seeing it, or the way a Muslim man is seeing it? So the only way I can at best assess Nigeria without any bias is to imagine that I am not a Christian, I'm not a Southerner, I'm not an Yoruba man. In fact, I'm not anything. I'm just a plain book, a plain sheet of paper with nothing written on it. So how would I assess Nigeria? Now, beyond even attempting to assess Nigeria, it appears the very basis for us to assess has been so corrupted, again, by this religion and tribe. A lot of people can't even think, can't even assess, because the mere attempt to assess is met by a brick wall of tribalism, by a brick wall of religion. Because I try to assess this country first and foremost. And trust me when I'm telling you this. I am assessing I am trying as much as possible not to be biased. In fact, there was a time I put in myself to have a rethink about Peter Obi, to have to relook Peter Obi, to have to reassess Peter Obi and see if for any reason I was being wrong in the first place. But hard as I try, I'm yet to see that thing that will make me say, okay, Peter Obi is not the choice. Hard as I try, I have not seen it. Okay. For once again, I'm also going to request that we try to be upright, to be just, to be truthful, to have the fear of God, to have the love of humanity in our heart, to have the love of country, to have the love for progress, the love of good things, the love of anything that is good. Have it in your heart and ask again, is this the country that you want? Is this the Nigeria that you honestly want? Now let's take it from the beginning. Now here is a country where a man came and told you and said that it is the turn of the Yorubas. Excuse me. Excuse me. That it is the turn of the Yorubas. And when those who have this sense of entitlement are asked, but Obasanjo ruled this country as a military president, as a military officer, and as a civilian president, they now say that no, Obasanjo is not a Yoruba man, that Obasanjo is an Igbo man. Now I'm asking myself, if the name Obasanjo is now an Igbo name, Olusegun, Aremu, if these names are Igbo names. Now, in the same vein, this man said that if it is Yoruba turn, by the fact that it is the turn of the Yorubas, it is now his turn. I'm talking about the one and only Okpakori, Eremu Kokwanrie, Oshari, Ogaga, Ise, Tinubu, Jagaban. I love the fact that there's one Yoruba girl that came online and said, is Tinubu a Yoruba name? What is the meaning of Tinubu in Yoruba? She dared people to bring out the meaning. I'm yet to see someone who responded to her. But that's not my point. That's my case. Because I'm trying to reason. I'm trying, for once, let's reason. Because it's the fact that we are unable to reason beyond these hydra-headed proclivities of tribe, religion, that we have given these thieving politicians to use us and get away with virtually almost anything that they want to get away with. Now I said there's a man who came and rode on the heels of the fact that it is the turn of the Yorubas. And some Yorubas bought into this ideology. That is the turn of the Yorubas. And when you ask them, what about Obasanjo? They say Obasanjo is an Igbo man. Okay. Then there is a governor in Lagos State who contested for governor just because he has an Igbo blood in him. They said he cannot rule Lagos because his blood is tainted by Igbo. Even though the man himself is more Lagosian than the people that are saying he's not Lagos. So, now, I'm trying us to reason. I just want us to reason. Let's just throw reason open. Let's reason and conquer the boundaries, the horizon of the limits of reason. Let's conquer it. But we can only do that if as a Christian I stop being a Christian for 1 hour. As a Muslim, I stop being a Muslim. As a Yoruba man, I stop being a Yoruba. Igbo, just stop being anything that will draw you back. And try to reason openly. Now, here is a man who never came to any debate. He didn't honor any debate. He didn't honor any interview. In fact, the only interview he granted in Gatham House, when they asked him how is he going to run the affairs of this country, he told you that on day 1 he will hit the ground running. Day 2 he will keep running. Day 3 he will not stop running. That is the blueprint of somebody we bestowed a country of 200 million Nigeria for. His blueprint is, on the first day he will hit the ground running. Second day he will keep running. Third day he will not stop running. That is the man that we gave Nigeria to rule. The same man said that recruit 50 million youth into the army and take away from their recruitment source what they will eat. Cassava, agbado in the morning, yam. And here is a man who came and dead the unity of Christians and Muslims in the country that we've long been trying to harmonize over the years. But dared it because of his personal ambition and dared to bring a Muslim candidate. A thing that I know that the Muslim community in the North will never accept a Christian candidate. It can't even be conceived, talk less of dared. Can't dare it. It's dead on arrival if you dare that one Christian candidate. So you can't dare it. But here we are, Muslim candidate. And in order to sell this concept for us, so that we begin to accept it, initially it is called simple misdirection. They tried to say, Tinubu gave, there are more Christian appointment than Muslims. For the first time, a Christian is now the minister of FCT, something that has never happened before. These are steps aimed at making you to accept the concept. When it now dawned on us that it's now an acceptable norm, don't forget that no Muslim will ever accept Christian candidate. It's not possible. But they are gradually informing your mind to accept that it is a norm for a Muslim candidate to rule this country. And what is even more annoying, it is our over-bloated, educated Southerners who are only armed with nothingness of grammar that will come and justify this thing with a few pockets of English grandiloquence that they have and say that, after all, I am not interested in the basics of religion, provided that people with the right tools for governance are given power. It doesn't matter whether you are Muslim or Christian, provided you can deliver the dividends of democracy. I am not precipitated upon to be boiled down by religious sentiments and religious antics. I am for those who can actually deliver. And when he finished speaking, they will say, the people that you are making case for will speak the house and say, Kai, gaskiya mutumin nan ya iya turanci. Kai, wallahi gaskiya ga yana fallasa turanci. Amma wawa ne. What he just said that, Kai, this man sabi speaking English. Kai, sabi speaking English. But he's a fool. Sometimes I look at Southerners who believe that just arming themselves with a few tools of grammatical grandiloquence, coming to speak in an audience and receiving vain applauses, they go home feeling satisfied that they have said something, whereas what you have said is mere nothingness. It reels nothing and amounts to nothing. It doesn't even benefit yourself. Talk less of trickling down to benefiting the South. And as if that's enough, you see people from whose territory the wealth that governs Nigeria is taken from are those that go to Abuja to beg for crumbs. Sad and painful, if you ask me. Here is a man who dressed and disguised commoners on the street as bishops. Something I know that if any Christian politician does and disguise commoners in the South as big imams in the North, they would have been burning churches and killing Christians in the North. A man disguised everything. So from coming then, as if that is not enough, here is a man during the primaries used money to buy delegate. Dollars were being for the first time it didn't seem as if the legal currency of Nigeria was the naira. It now looked as if the dollar was the only currency Nigeria accepts. Here is a man who, by some mysterious reason, blackmailed everybody, bought over INEC, bought over the judiciary, bought over the Senate, bought over the judiciary. He is now Alpha and Omega in Nigeria. And we still have some maniacs who believe that we should give him time.